Hello, so I will show my project that I'm working on. It's called Imaginatron, and it's a project where we can practically do everything with AI, like image generation, video generation, audio generation, edit, and everything. There's a lot of things to do. For example, I will just show we can generate an image. Uh, we have different models. We can select different kind of model. We can edit video, make transform to uh, create logo generation, 3D move generation. We can create avatars. We can remove background. We can create a strategy board, for example, where it's create for us. We can build some presentations with AI, with different images and our videos. We can create storybooks where we can make storybooks for different kind of people, age, and and types of books. We can build our own avatar. We have some avatar here, so we can have it on 2D, or we can have it in the 3D, and we can use that for building uh, animations in the studio, the 3D movie studio. For example, we can create a new scene here. We can do pretty much everything here. We can move this object. We can rotate, resize, reshape a specific part, edge, face. We can add different uh, uh, shapes. We can do a lot of things. We can, the way we see the map or in the scene here, for example, move. We can build the animations, and for example, we can hide that and make some drag and drop here, and we can see the timeline where we can play the scene. We can use some AI to help us to build for, something. For example, here we use some prompt, and after that it will build for us the map, or also we can also request change in the camera. For example, here it builds some house. We can play the scene. We can automatically change the scene. For example, in the camera here, we can record or we can control based on the way we want. For example, here in the timeline, let me click full scene, and I will put, we can press play. As it doesn't have anything, I will try to create record, and we can see here I'm recording already. We can give some zoom or not, and we can press play, for example, and this is the way we see, but we can make some improvements, pause, exit, or you check one that's already built. There's some animations that we have built it before. For example, here I'll try to play the scene with full screen, and it has already some animations. Not so good, but we can do a bunch of things here. For example, this one, if I press to full scene and play scene, it's already doing some stuff here. And if we pause, we can see that we can control everything in the scene. We can do a lot of things. We can do, for example, add some GLB files. We can generate one or get from our creations. For example, I built one here. Let me just get him. So here is the Victor that I created. We can make some modifications on him. For example, the pose, we can change his hands. It's better if we change it directly on here, and we can check each timeline and each part of his body in the timeline and press play. We need to change the camera, but if we spend some time doing here, we can build a lot of things nice, very nice here. We can do, for example, choose the motion, and we see everything he does. We can set some previews or generated prompts here. Nice, and he will act like that in the video that we created. We can remove background for a specific image. We can build the thumbnail based on the video you want and things that we want to have in the thumbnail. We have the discovery, where people have built some projects or some things. Here, for example, it's a 3D. We can download, save, use, animate. We can do a lot of things. We can see in the full screen. We can download, we can share. Download goes direct to the we can't download a GLB file in our phone or see that, but for example, if you long press, we can download this image, we can share, we can save, we can we can save in our folders. We can create a new folders. New folders can have different images or cover, and we can build image. We can do a lot of things here. So here is the folder page. We can edit the folder cover, add more items or generations. We have some more tools for create thumbnail, avatar studio, storybook. We can, for example, generate water in the castle star. We can use some stars here. We can build the type of the book, the age, for example, this one, the language, the tone, inventory, the number of the pages for storybook. We can add some characters, otherwise it will be empty. We can select some previews. I need to update here. And we have some text, style, text align, position, the type of the board, the lane space, and if you need narration, if we want to have cover, page, the number of the page, if you want to have the intro or ending, or add some more page, where the illustration will be. We select just two pages, the lanes, we want to have just 8 lines with some characters, and let's create a book. And here it will be building. We don't need to stay on this page. We can leave, and when it's ready we will receive some alerts, or if you are on the page it will be shown here and down. We can check another tools, for example video edit. We can upscale a video, or we can also compress a media. For example here I will get this image here, and here we want to compress it. We will compress, we try to compress, let's see, it's didn't compress it a lot, just a small one. We can share, we can save to the gallery, we can back, we can also compress videos. We can, let's see our storybook, how it's been. Let's see. Yeah, here we have the star. We can we have the image here, and we can see the previews. The cover, we don't have illustration. The cover, we have the star. We can see in a grid way. We can edit text, some parts of the page, like the image, the text, anything. And we can download or publish that, or edit the book. We can download it as a PDF. Here I need to make some changes here, and we can edit the image. We will see now how to edit a video. We can create star, which for example I was testing this one, but I will start a new media from scratch. We can see the castle here. We can extend this. We can add text to the star. For example, castle star. We can do a lot of changes here in the text. For example here we can increase, decrease based on what we want, change the color, and when we press play it do a lot of things. Here we can use some help of the AI, or ask to do some additions in the text or in the image. We can add more things here. We can also record audio, put some music, or make our own narration. For example, we change select a monster. We can add some transition from one image to other, or one video to other. For example here it's a fade transition, but we can add, we can generate, we can record based on the video here. For example, everything I will say here will be saved in this time. We can improve this. We can change the voice to another type of voice, and we can, I don't know if you can hear because it's not so, it's very low. We have some effects here that we can add in the image. We can add some filters. We can add some pads. Well, there's a lot of things to do here, and we can save as draft. We can export, save to our gallery, save to the cloud. For example, save to the gallery, which there are some things we can export, but I will make it available later. I'll save to the gallery. Okay, I need to make some adjustments, but we can do a lot of things here. We can do motion, we update the image here to the specific way we want. We can see the live preview. Yeah. We can generate audio based on the music or on the things that we are doing. We can upload from the our device or from our creations. For example, here you can hear some sound and export that. Well, there's a lot of things to do here. I can we can, for example, remove a background of one file or more than one file. Yeah,